Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Comic Book Spectrum, creative conversation about comics, views, reviews, and more. So stick around for the next hour or more, and let's have some fun, okay?
10 seconds.
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
Ready!
Welcome to Comic Book Spectrum, a Rising Tide Broadcast Network production. Get ready to explore the world of comics, past, present, and future, with our panelists Eric Hawkins, Brian Rodman, and Clyde Hall. And now here's your host, Brian K. Morris.
And good evening, everyone. How the heck are you? Welcome to a snow-laden edition of Comic Book Spectrum. Hope you're settled in and you're ready to read some comic books with us. It's going to be a lot of fun. And first of all, we're part of the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. And please check out our other shows. Later tonight will be Stupid O'Clock at 9 p.m. Eastern, followed by Dan Hollifield's Last Man Standing. We've got a full agenda of shows over the weekend. It's all good stuff. A lot of variety. There's sure to be something you will love. So check out the Rising Tide Broadcast Network page on Facebook. Also, this is powered by our Patreon supporters, whose monthly contributions help keep the Rising Tide going here. And if you want to see your name on this card, check us out at what we offer you at www.patreon.com/Brian K. Morris. And as always, we are brought to you by Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you. When you created a brand new novel or a comic book, you know that cover is what really helps sell the book. And if you want the best cover you can possibly get, contact Jeffrey Hayes at Plasma Fire Graphics. Check out their Facebook page and then also go to plasmafiregraphics.com, see more samples, and contact Jeffrey directly and be amazed at how independent, creator-friendly his prices are for a variety of graphic needs. Check them out. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you, because it definitely matters to your readers. And now, here we are. We have got, let me get out of the screen here and let me unmute these wonderful people. And we've not only got the Fab Four here, we have the Fantastic Five. Yay! Jody McFee joins us. How are you tonight?
I am present and was held up for quite a bit, but I'm here.
What you digging out like the rest of us?
I did that most of yesterday. I was actually held up because I was talking about an article that I just wrote for Comics Unlimited that's going to be coming up in this next upcoming issue.
Everybody check that out, available on Amazon. And how are the rest of you gentlemen?
Pretty good. Snowed in like a pro.
I was going to say, note the enthusiasm coming from the panel here. They just haven't learned to fake it like I have. But anyway, let's see as Joe D turns his back to us. Joe, what have we done? Anyway,
no, I'm looking for something.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. We'll start around the room. We'll tell everybody who the heck we are. We'll start with Clyde, and we'll go clockwise. We'll not go anti-clockwise like last week, because that really messed some people up here. And I won't be
not British. We are not British. And besides, I need a spot of tea.
I'm hoping they'll take us back some days. But anyway, let's start with the one, the only, Mr. Clyde Hall. Tell everybody who you are and how amazing you are and why.
Well, I am Clyde Hall, and I may not be British, but I'm cool by osmosis because I hang with really cool people. I am an independent author, and you can find my work in Pulp Reality 1, 2, and now 3 from Stormgate Press by going to www.stormgatepress.com or by going to Amazon. All 3 Pulp Reality editions are there. Another fine new pulp publications from Stormgate Press. Also, you can find me on a comic book review site called Comics Bookcase. I always want to run that together and make it comic books case, but it's not. Comics Bookcase is on www.comicsbookcase.com, and for a couple of weeks now, I have been submitting reviews, and you can find me there. You can find a whole lot of good reviews there, along with interviews and comic book news. So those 2 places, but also on Thursdays, part of the Fantastic 4-5. 4-5.
4 or 5.
Right here.
Number.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Clyde. Appreciate it. And here he is, the one, the only porn sack pro slayer himself, Mr. Eric Hawkins.
Hey, I'm Eric S. Hawkins. I'm an independent comic creator, mostly known for the Zombieful World of Oz. This is a current little thing I've done, and digital sculpting's hard for me, but 2 months worth of work, finally did it. 3D printed and painted.
Beautiful.
Offered on my new campaign that'll be coming out hopefully next month, but they will not be painted. You get to paint them yourself. It's a do-it-yourself. But you can find me Thursday night here, and anywhere internet can be found. You'll find me on social media.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Eric. Mm-hmm. And next we'll be bringing a bit of culture to this show. I think it's strawberry yogurt. That's Mr. Brian Rodman.
All I have to say is, oodalally, golly, what a day. Wonderful.
Yeah, about to say,
nice.
Robin Hood.
Indeed, yes, my favorite Disney movie. I am Brian Rodman, for those who don't already know. And you can find me in all my shenanigans, such as Memoirs of an Angel and the Nebulizer at brianrobin.com. I'm also 1/4 of the Dastardly Dingoes podcast and 1/4 of Comic Book Spectrum, which you are now watching. So you already know that, don't you? You're already one step ahead of us all. You know it all.
BrianRobin.com for more hilarity. And also mention the thing you're doing on your Patreon page right now.
Oh, yes. Right now, my nieces and I have teamed up to bring to all of our patrons on Patreon an awesome story for all ages called The Princess Warriors. And it's about 3 sisters who are the princesses of Atradia, and their parents, the king and queen, have been kidnapped by Mog the Mean. That's right, he did choose that name for himself. I know. And
who calls himself Mog?
Right.
What's the deal?
Yeah, so weird. And he lives in the Chateau of Meanness. Come on now. At
least his branding's consistent.
And it's true.
Yeah.
But it's exclusively releasing every couple of weeks on my Patreon page, 1 to 2 pages a week, or 1 to 2 pages an entry rather. And it's a lot of fun. This past week I launched page 3, which is it has the map of North Star, which is the realm that Atradia resides in, and it's a lot of fun. Having a blast with my nieces. They're having a blast too. So head to patreon.com/Brian Rodman and check it out. It's something you're really not going to want to miss.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Brian. And here he is, the one, the only, the charming, the delightful Joe D. McFee. Joe, tell everybody who you are and what you're about.
I'm just a person who writes comics here. I'm the actual president of the C2C Studios. As I said earlier, I also dabble here and there with writing articles and doing a little bit of podcast called From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher every Saturday at 10 o'clock at 9 o'clock Central Standard Time, 10 o'clock Eastern. I almost got it backwards again, but nevertheless, I am here. Sorry for not being on time, but I was held up because I was actually turning over work for the article here just prior to the show, so it was getting things situated with that as a whole here. But I am ready, and if those who are remember from last time, we still got 2 books that I haven't reviewed that I'm ready for, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that a certain person got their copy of this other book for I could be like, okay, was it really worth my money?
Ooh, there's a tease for you. Anyway, glad you're here, Joe. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
And oh God, not him again. Oh, that's me. Anyway, I'm Brian K. Morris, independent publisher, award-winning playwright, independent editor and author, also a Facebook famous YouTuber and former mortician's assistant. I publish through the Rising Tide and Freelance Words imprints. And I do a lot of broadcasting, probably too much, you might say. And then we're going to, when we host this show, and it's the highlight of my week. But anyway, that's me. I'm done. I honestly, I dislike talking about myself. I'm forced to do it. Well, I'm forced to do it within a time limit. Okay, if it give me less than 1 week, spouting out about myself, then I can do it. But anyway, it's hard to be humble when you're perfect.
And I would like to announce the Queen of Self-Care has arrived with us.
Oh, we got to get a close up of Luna. There we go.
There she is. Yeah. She's demanded the baby holding. So here we are. Yes. All right.
Now, how much of your driveway did Luna, or did you have to shovel out your driveway like the rest of us Midwesterners?
Oh no, I don't go anywhere. I just hunker down like a hermit when it snows. That's why I love it.
Your snow removal plan's called March, right?
Yes, exactly. I'm just like, I look outside and say, oh no, there's snow in my driveway. Ding, ding, ding. I'm working from home. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't do that. I just yell into the next room. I'm working from home. She's like, you do that every day, you moron. But so
no, we actually don't normally snow our driveway. I mean, we live in Louisville. It doesn't really snow enough to shovel your driveway. I mean, right now, like, we're not going to go anywhere probably the next 24 hours anyway. So, right. We went to the grocery this morning.
Eggs, and milk.
Yeah, we have our milk sandwich materials, and we will be covered in that department for quite some time, I think.
And now I have this image of you being covered in milk, bread, and eggs right now. And,
yeah. I charge.
Good night, everyone. Drive home safely.
Listen, everyone. The sound of pleasure. Don't you hear it?
That's right. It sounds like it to me, by God.
Sorry, people, for OnlyFans after dark, but they just can't help themselves.
That's right. Don't you wish?
Oh, yeah, I know I do. There goes my money. But anyway, we have people commenting, and we'll see how many still want to speak to us after that discourse there. We got Dan Hollifield in first, and that's the gentleman behind Last Man Standing tonight at 11 p.m. Got a nice seat for tonight's show. Glad to have you here, Dan. And Donna Carlene's right behind him. Comes in to find a seat. Wow, good to see you. Ted Davies Artistry. Good show this morning with Glenn B. Fleming, as always.
Mm-hmm.
Good evening, all you superheroes. And that looks like beer and coffee. And by God, I'm ready too. I brought 2 cups of beer. What? Joe, do you need to get some libations here?
Yeah.
No, I'm just like, where's the superheroes at?
That's true. Yeah, Eric's in the spirit. He's ready. And hello, Carl Witzman. Good to see you. And Michaela Jade. Mwah, always a pleasure to see you. Check out her show last Monday. It was a great show on writing. It changed lives. It's wonderful. And everybody's saying hello to each other. Don't care about us. And Gold Key Comics. That takes me back. Me too. Mm-hmm. Me too. I love those old gold keys. Mm-hmm. And Donna Carlene says, I watched your motivational mornings today, but it wouldn't let me comment. That's great. Michaela started doing that again, too. Please check them out. And again, technical difficulties, says Dan Hollifield, sort of like one of those Harlan Ellison anthologies that used to happen once in a while. And that's what happens when you use naughty words, Donna. Let's see. Oh, did she say something and I didn't know? I didn't see it? What the heck? Anyway, that's poopy. What the hell? And that's, I wonder why. And Donna Carlene sticks her tongue out. Carl, I'll give you some bad words. Oh, man, it's about to get violent in here.
It's spicy in the comments, guys. I like it.
I know. They don't need us anymore. We can do an hour just of these guys. And Sarah, mwah, evening to you, hun. Glad you're here. What? I don't have to. Oh, Cookie just got word she doesn't have to go out tomorrow. Yay! Yay! Everyone's yaying for you.
Cookie.
I'm eating for me too.
Cookie, I miss you.
Sorry, Brian.
I said, Cookie, I miss you.
And Brian Rodman misses you.
I miss him too.
See.
Aw, sweet.
We bonded last year.
Yes, you
Now,
did. You
I'm
did
curious
bond.
about which book she's reading today. Which book is she reading today?
Look at that.
She is see the book she has been reading. We went to Ollie's and we picked up 3 volumes of collected Archie comics, but with a theme like sword and sorcery, fantasy, adventure. I think was another one. We got volumes 2, 4, and 5. I think it was
something like that.
Yeah. Oh, we also picked up the Sandman, the annotated Sandman.
Oh yes,
a $50 book. We got volume 4.
Yep.
That's the only one they had. It was covered the last of the regular series. It's $50 and weighs about the same as the front end of a Edsel. It's monstrous. And
don't drop it.
Don't drop it. No.
Make sure your toes are out of the way.
Yeah, I can't even lift that damn thing now. But anyway, got it for $12.
Holy crap! That's
And
awesome.
And here's the best part: Ollie sends you coupons when you sign up for their service there, and we got the $12 book for 15% off that.
Nice.
Jesse James rode a horse, so if you have an Ollie's near you, definitely go check him out. You'll get some really good comic bargains. But anyway, Cookie wanted to share the good news with me because this means we don't have to get up at 4:00. And he can shovel again.
And you shoveled for nothing.
I know. I was trying not to think that.
Well, you got your annual exercise. There you go.
There we go. Yeah. And if I don't lift my arms too much tonight, you'll understand why I'm unable to.
Don't worry. We know why.
Yes, that's right, Brian. Look out. Ignore the sounds that are coming out of my microphone. And hello, everyone say hello to each other. And the Dark Mistress and Grant arrive, and there's love in the air. And see, they don't need us at all.
Not at all.
No, they entertain themselves. They entertain themselves, and they entertain us.
That's true. Yeah, we're just accessories here. And Rick Bradley, good evening, comic book fans. Good evening to you, Superstar. Glad to see you here. And everyone's feel the love. And BKM hasn't downloaded the new schedule card yet. No, I haven't. I've been excavating around here. I've had other things to do. Mr. lives in the South and wouldn't know what a snowflake is unless he looks up in the dictionary. And good evening, comic fans. Nick Dockard, good to see you, my friend. Hey, and Nick was on last night. This is good news. Luke Stone did some broadcasting last night.
Yes.
Yes.
Was awesome to see him.
That did my heart a world of good. And Nick, it was good to see you on there too, my friend. And nope, he's living in the past. That's right, I am. And Michaela's, you got a fan, Joe. And Paul Bush is here. Hello, everyone. Paul, how are you? No, I don't know where the nebulizer number 2 is yet.
Hey, Paul, take a look.
And a Robin Hood mug. Oh. There we go. And Lissy is here. Good evening, Lissy. Mwah. And if I'm paying for a Tin Man figure, you better paint him for me.
Well, here's a littler one. Partially painted. Never finished that one. These things are all over the place. I've resculpted it a couple times, and they're all over the place, man.
There you go.
Different sizes.
He's just going to dip them
The kids haven't figured out if they would just ask, they probably don't have to pay. But I'll take money, so
there you go. Actually, for you, Lissy, he's going to dip it in a gallon of Sherwin-Williams, whatever he's got on hand. See, it's painted now. Here, hold it till it dries. And yes, Carl Witzman said, I almost forgot to like this show. That's right, folks. If you think you'll like any part of it, or you actually have already, please give us a like on Facebook, and on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing, and then do it no matter what you decide. And then that cup is great self-care, Rodman Rabbit.
Thank you. Actually, my mug collection is a little more self-indulgence, Sarah, than self-care, I believe. But we do what we can here.
Nothing wrong with that. And good thing you caught it, Carl. Oh, cool. And I didn't want to get your wrath, Sarah. Some people must not fear you. And of course, we all fear Sarah as well. We should. And Luna, says Carl Witzman, and that's exactly how he'd say it too.
Oh yeah,
it's not fear, it's respect.
Exactly right. And my sweet Luna nose boops from Donna Carleen. And Rick Bradley says, you tell Cookie you're working from home, and she responds, so when does the work happen? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, she's getting tired of me just sitting there going, which to a writer, that's pretty much 7.5 of your 8-hour day. And we didn't even start on the rails tonight. That's right.
Where we go, we need no rails.
That's right. There aren't rails big enough to hold this monster back, I'm telling you. And good evening, Snowbound Scoundrels. Well, he's got us pegged, that's for sure. Nick, I know that, I got to give some love to Nick here, because he's one county over from me. And I saw the Indiana official Indiana traffic map today, and Nick will be getting out sometime around July.
Thoughts and prayers, Nick. Thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers. Thank you. Much love, Nick. Much love. And William, both good to see you, my brother. And hi, Brian and everyone. Hope everyone is well. Damn excited about the Batman movie coming March 6th. I've been hearing about that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see it. I really do.
I think it'll be pretty good.
I think it will.
Actually,
be.
I believe it's competition that month, because Batman is supposed to go against some Marvel movie that month. I forgot which one.
Oh, which one would it be?
What's the
that'd
next
probably
one?
be Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it.
It's going to be toast then.
Yeah, I think so. I think Marvel's got a lot of momentum right now, but
yeah, because I mean, how many Batmans have been out already? Because I have lost count. I don't know.
Yeah.
This one, though, I'm excited about this one, because this one, I remember way back when I saw Seven for the first time, I said, Seven is a movie about Gotham City with no Batman. And this movie looks like Seven with Batman. So I'm actually more excited about this Batman movie than I have been in a very long time. And I love Ben Affleck's Batman. Don't get me wrong. You all know I was so excited about the Snyder cut Justice League, and I thought it was amazing. This is something different. This looks like a horror movie with Batman in it, and it makes me super excited. So we'll see how it goes.
I like that. I like that analogy. I mean, I'm going to see it eventually. It might wind up being on Blu-ray, but I do want to see it. It looks like an interesting take on Batman, and that's what, especially after Joker, that's what I want to see now.
Yeah.
More than a literal adaptation of the comics in some cases. I mean, if you're not going to adapt it 100%, then do something fresh with it.
Yeah, do your own thing.
Exactly. And yay for Cookie, says Carl Wisman. Yay for Cookie, says Donna Carlene. And very glad to hear about Cookie not having to go out tomorrow. You and me both, brother. I was a nervous wreck yesterday.
Yeah.
Worrying about her being able to come home. And then I get this text message. I'm at Burger King picking up dinner. I'm like, okay, you're good. Because our Burger King, the closest Burger King is like 8 blocks from me. I can walk there, and don't think I haven't tried. Anyway, Sarah, I miss Cookie more. She's been in my bed. It's true. Cookie was in Sarah's bed.
She has not been in my bed. That is true. Brian has, but not Cookie.
Well, that's true. That's true. Well, anyway, we'll work it out.
Again, more OnlyFans after dark.
Oh God, what rails? Anyway, Carl Wilson says, "Hey, William and John Celestri, always glad to have you here, brother." John's got 5 days more, I believe, on his Kickstarter campaign for Bloodwing Angel, the second edition of that. Please pick it up. You are in for a treat. I swear. I promise on what little honor I have that's an excellent book. And John's waving to us all. He's perusing his collection of Crazy Cat Sunday reprints. Ooh. Oh, live from Coconino County. Oh my God, that's sweet stuff, John. You have good taste, sir. And just teasing. I know you are a tease. And speaking of teases, there's Joe Dog McKeel. Hey, I may attempt broadcasting tonight after you guys. Looking forward to it, my friend. Looking forward to it. And Paul Bush, I have seen it, and yes, you can send it to me anytime. I think he's referring to the aforementioned nebulizer, and everyone's saying hi to Joe Dog, and Joe Dog saying hi back. And the office is closed today, says Rick Bradley, and they'll be closed tomorrow. One happy camper here. I would be too. That's great. And the only Trish Bankston. Hello, good evening, gentlemen. Good evening. Mwah. Trish, good to see you here, darling. Put in something about your current your current Kickstarter, that great project too. And everyone's saying hello. Oh, I love the new Geiger comic, says Ted Davies Artistry. Hope you got it, porn sack. Just saying. Ted Davies.
That's what I was going to review tonight, but then snow. So I didn't make it to the comic shop. So
yes, and we're not
that
talking about
was the
Abraham
book I
Snow.
was looking forward to for the past month and a half.
Yeah, we'll be talking more about how the snows in the Midwest have affected our comic buying. I have an alternative though. And Rick Bradley says, I hope they don't have the Joker in any Batman movies for a good long time. Thank you. He's my favorite villain ever, but even I'm sick of him. Yep.
Here's what I want in this series, because we all, good grief, we all know how this works. It's not just going to be one Batman movie. This is probably the first of 17. But I need them to do the Court of Owls. This is especially the tone of what this version seems to be. The Riddler leading into Court of Owls, revealing, some secret thing that the Waynes were tied into that ruled Gotham with an iron fist kind of thing, would be a perfect setup for the Court of Owls. It's not something other than the show Gotham, which we got their take on it, which was really good. I enjoyed it. But I think this would be a perfect moment to bring that to the big screen. And the Court of Owls, the Joker's my favorite Batman villain. The Court of Owls is my second favorite. I was absolutely in love when I read that comic for the first time.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. And that's the thing. It's like I reviewed a week or two ago Action Comics with a very, very good Martian Manhunter strip in it. And how they've been reimagining a couple of concepts. See, there was a time after the Manhunter left Detective Comics, he took up residency in House of Mystery, and they mentioned the devil head of Diablo, I believe, in the first episode, and then they have a reimagining of his companion Zook, and I see Joe smiling there. And
I just read. I read another comment, and I was just laughing about it.
Okay, we'll get to that. We will get to that. I promise. We'll never get to our comments, but we'll get to his. But anyway, but then. And in the latest one, they had all these guys wearing these masks that were very similar to the Court of Owls. And I thought this was very interesting. And then they said, we are Vulture.
Interesting.
Which was an organization that the Martian Manhunter was fighting about the time he started sharing House of Mystery with Dial H for Hero.
Huh.
So, but it turned out to be Vulture, and my heart beat happily. But anyway, Trish Bankson says, Carl, been a rough week. Yes, it has been a rough week.
Yes, it has.
Which is why I was just so happy to see Luke up and broadcasting. Oh, and what is it, Randy Zimmerman?
He's home.
He's home now. So
that's good.
That's good news. But you're right. It has been a rough week. And Joe Dog McHale says, I now understand the other Brian's unable to breathe issues. It sucks. Yes.
Yes, it does.
Yes. Joe has had some challenges as of late. And yes, it has, Trish, says Carl Witzman. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, if you check my profile page on
OnlyFans.
On OnlyFans, yeah. But also check out my page here on Facebook, which links to my OnlyFans. But no, check out my page because Krista, the indie goddess who is Varian Grant's wife, she has started a GoFundMe. Varian is having some medical issues of his own.
Yeah.
And the family could use your financial help. So please go to that.
It's also available on my page as well. I think it's like one of the last things I posted. So
okay, great. Thank you, Brian. Thank you so much. And send me a link. I'll review it. Says Fab 5.
That's why I was laughing at it.
Oh, okay.
Fab 6.
This man started sending me messages last night and pictures of the book.
Do you want him on here? Do you want to lay into him?
Hey, if Ted would love to come on and review the book, I'd be more than happy.
Okay, let's read one more, and then I will send Ted. I will send you a link. It's put up or shut up time. You can be part of the Sexy Six tonight.
Oh, here we go.
All right, and can we use Heath
Sexy
Ledger as the
Sinister Six?
Yeah, there you go. The Sinister Six. I like that better.
Yeah,
Sarah asked, can we use Heath Ledger as the Joker, but with the Weekend at Bernie's way? He was amazing.
That is hilarious.
That is awful, Sarah. I am so
God.
proud of you. That is beguiling of you. And actually, I'm busy. Krister's home. Oh, yeah, sure she is. Sure she is.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, I can't go. My wife is here.
Oh, no, I can't review comics. Oh.
Mommy won't let me come be on your show.
Clyde Hall coming in. Just the elbow drop to the heart.
Clyde says, you don't get
why
on my
we
playground.
don't derail. This is the reason why we don't derail. We wouldn't have comedy gold like this.
He doesn't strike often, but when he does, it's for real.
Clyde's like, this is my house. How dare
Wow.
you insult us?
I'm gonna go back later because I noticed all the others of us except Clyde's just back there going, "Yep, I nailed him good," and the rest of us are like, "Oh." Oh, and then James Arthur said Hawkins must review it, not stealing the thunder.
I will try to get it this weekend or next week, definitely. Because it's like I think an 80-page spectacular special thing with a bunch of different stories in it. So I was really looking forward to it. It should be good.
Mm-hmm. We'll find out once everything thaws.
Yeah. And the Image special came out this week too that I wanted to get. 30th anniversary.
Oh yeah.
I may or may not have it. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Carl Wisman says suddenly the show became meaner than the Green Room. The Green Room, for those of you who might not know, is on Uncle Carl's Secret Humor page, and if you hook up with somebody who might know where the page is to be found, because it is a secret, a terribly kept one, but it is a secret page nonetheless. You can go there, and on Friday nights, Uncle Carl and Aunt Donna get a little bit inebriated, and then host the shenanigans for several hours, and and then the rest of us join in and we sing hymns to try to counteract it. But anyway, but the thing is, you cannot be at all offended, which may leave a lot of people out, like Ted Davies right now. But anyway, we love you, Ted. And Rick Bradley, damn, we need the fire department stat for that burn. Oh my God! And dang, what's burning us, dude? And yes, and Big Daddy knows his place. Oh my God! Excellent. Oh, and I don't know half or more will come to my mind since Sarah. Oh dear. Anyway. I don't know how we're going to top that, guys.
I think the show's over now.
Time to go home. Good night, everyone. No, last week we go into reviews, and since we have a special guest in our home here tonight, our designated pinch hitter, Mr. Jody McFee.
I thought it was part-time, full-time, meaning that I was like 1/5. Or
I don't think Joe's a special guest anymore. He's part of the crew.
He's special to me.
Yeah.
One of us.
One of them.
As Joe now reviews the Illinois statutes for slander and libel, let's give him the full screen. Joe, you ready to give us a great review?
Well, I do have a question for the audience here. Because one of the books I'm not going to reveal because I have a sneaky suspicion somebody else is going to do that book.
Okay.
And I'm going to wait to see if they get good praise or not.
Okay.
But the option here is the 2 books from last week. I do know that Daisy was the biggest point getter outside of the She-Hulk #1 from last week. Mm-hmm. And I do know that people was interested in Carriers. So I still have those 2. Plus the other one, which I kind of figured that a Mr. Rodman is going to review.
You are incorrect. I am not. I
am
going to review something old.
I know what he's going to. I know what Brian's going to review, and you generally don't go for that kind of magazine.
So pretty much, I still feel that a certain book may be a waste of my money, and Mr. Rodman.
Oh, I see. Yes. Well, I haven't picked it up. I haven't been able to pick it up yet. it might be a waste of your money. I haven't read it yet. So.
Don't worry, that's like I haven't read Saga since like the very first 5 issues.
Yeah, I mean,
no one else has either.
I have the big, huge omnibus that has every issue that's been out yet, and I'm rereading it because it's been so long. I forgot half of it. And I don't know. Does it kind of just pick up right where the other one would have left off?
Kind of, sort of. So that's why I'm like question mark.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. If you haven't read everything up before it, it's probably not going to explain itself. Which, but be that as it may, they haven't put out anything in like 4 years, so
But I got it. I got it nonetheless.
Carry on, but when it's 4 years, you try to carry on.
If you can't get to review it, I will go ahead and do it later.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's the choices for tonight: either Daisy number 2 or Carriers number 1.
In the comments, everyone, Daisy or Carriers? Which one do you want to review?
Carriers.
No, that's what I said. I know that the crew wants Carriers, but I remember Daisy was the point getter for the crowd last time. So,
well, let's see. We'll see what the crowd says tonight. We'll give them a couple of minutes because there's lag between when we say things and when they read it, and then lag between when we see it again. Sarah says she wonders how many ads are going to be complained about tonight. Well, you got the full complement here. Expect a lot of advertisement bitching.
I don't have Marvel or DC books, so not any.
I have no ads in what I'm reviewing, so yeah.
There we go. And Dan Hollifield has a great comment here. Sing hymns? Okay, here we go.
I thought that was a Russian bot at first. I was like, there's some that. I was like, oh wait, that's Dan.
Dan, I don't know if you've seen this, but if you haven't, please just go to YouTube and type in Cthulhu Fatagan, and you will absolutely have a blast. I promise.
Something heartwarming from the mind of H.P. Lovecraft. Okay, we are. Oh, and I'm singing. He has risen under the sheets. That's our game. That's our game. Every time you say something, you're like, I'm going to be reviewing Action Comics under the sheets.
I was going to say I haven't heard that in a long time. She's bringing it back.
I know. She that and sexy. She's bringing them both back. And Carriers. We have 1 vote for Carriers.
1 vote for Carriers.
We have 2 votes for Carriers.
Ooh.
And we have 1 vote for LOL. Okay, so we're moving on from there.
Book? I don't know where I put that book. Hold on.
LOL, keep looking for it.
I keep telling you, the Nebulizer issue 2 is coming out. Leave me alone. Good grief.
Don't you leave him alone. I want to read it too.
Fine.
We'll
ask about issue 3.
I will say this. I'll give you a little taste. All right.
Oh baby.
The promo for it will come with a brand new image, and it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's coming your way this weekend. That's all I'm going to say.
Nice.
So you got something to look forward to, guys.
There you go. Okay, folks, we have a couple votes for Carriers, and I think we've given enough time that if anyone has a contrary opinion, they could have expressed it by now.
They have to speak now or forever hold their peace.
That's right, or hold someone else's if they'll let you.
Consent is important.
Right.
Yes, it is. Yes. Yes, consent is mandatory around here. What you do when you're not on this show, it's your business. But anyway, and Rick Riley has a sudden unexpected. He has a write-in vote.
Got Meat Monkey right here.
Oh God! I'm having old man wonder why I like doing this show. Anyway, I'm going to declare 5.
Came right back to me.
Careful, you have to file an environmental impact statement as that bag opens. Let's see. We've got the votes are in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The polls are closed. Joe, what are we going to do?
Is Meat Monkey as good as, or not Meat Monkey? I got Meat Monkey on the brain. Is Carriers as good as Good Feathers?
I haven't read a Good Feathers.
Oh no, that was an Animaniacs.
It's from Animaniacs.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. Yes. And here we go. Ted's new show, Big Daddy's Comic Reviews. Sponsored by the meanest guy on the net, Clyde Hall. Love you guys. The Fast 4 to 5 rule. We love you too, Ted. We love you too. So, Joe, I think we're going to hear about this Carriers thing, aren't we?
Exactly.
Bring it on, my friend.
So, Carriers #1. That's one of the covers that you could have got for issue #1. They didn't have much of anything else here as far as covers was concerned for where I got it here. Book is created by Ben Ferrari and Erica Helflin. Erica also did the story. Pencils by John O'Reilly for pages 1 through 12, and Elias Martins from 13 through 28. Inks done by Silas Dixon for pages 1 through 12, and Elias Martins from 13 through 28. Colors by Sebastian Valencia. Letters by Warren Montgomery, and the cover was done by Jeff Johnson and Sid Nankun, all part of Red 5 Comics. Now, unbeknownst to me, because we were kind of thinking, is this going to be anthropomorphic and everything because they're holding weapons and all this other stuff? No, it is not. These are actual pigeons that actually can wield these weapons. Like using normal animal motions, and they paid attention to that throughout the whole book. Now let's get into the actual crux of the story here, and that's one of the things that it kind of ticked me off in the beginning, but I kind of get why they didn't do it that way. So we see it pretty much in try to get it focused here in mid-mission here. They're up here, touring the city and whatnot. At least the two of the main characters are touring the city. It's Gladius and Fable, touring the city, and they're trying to figure out what's going on in the sewer grates and everything. And they eventually figure out that something was going on, below ground and whatnot. And they're trying to track everything down. Now, mind you, these are highly intelligent pigeons. And they're going, they're in New York City, and it turns out that there's a myth that is going on that something is being, transported underground through the sewers, and they're trying to figure out what's what. So as they go back and forth, they eventually come to like this one area where they have full access to things like computer access and computer screens, and they have like a full warehouse where it's like an armory and recon equipment and everything that is only accessible by them as birds. And I was like, this is getting highly inventive, especially since this is not anthropomorphic. Wondering how all this stuff works. So Fable comes across and ends up talking to Dark Dove as far as, hey, could you do some reconnaissance for us? Can you take a look at, what energy fluxes and stuff was coming from the area that they just got through, looking over. And as they was looking everything over, here comes the last member of the crew, which is Cherry Bomb. She flies in and she's up here saying, hey, I caught the rats over at this one location. They were doing something unscrupulous. We might want to go and check it out. So Fable's up here is like, well, hold your horses. We still trying to figure out what the bigger deal is here, as far as what they have seen. So pretty much Cherry Bomb being like more of a hothead. Was like, hey, we still got to go check this thing out, yada, yada, yada. We, the faster we deal with these rats, and when I say the rats, they are literal rats. The better off we are. And then Fable's up here talking about, hey, we don't want to go and start a war. It's like, you guys don't know what war is like. And he goes through like this whole vision. I'm going to bring it up here about what it was like when he was in this other past war between the pigeons and whatever faction it was. I can't really tell here because they never really showed the enemy faction per se. So Fable is up here, kind of giving like the lesson to everybody else that, the whole aspect of war being heck. So with that being stated, it's Gladius to say, hey, why don't we just go and do some more reconnaissance in that area? It's like, and then Fable's like, you know what? You and Cherry Bomb go and check it out. So all three of them go to the area that Cherry Bomb was at. And then they take, they're up here doing reconnaissance. And then they up here, they were seeing the rats and everything moving something below ground. And then in the background, you see some other birds coming into play, which is the falcons. And a fight ensues here. So the falcons are up here trying to, save their turf and everything by protecting the rats and whatnot. Cherry Bomb, starts to go in and does her thing while the other two is dealing with the falcons. One thing led to another where they come out victorious, as well as one of the rats really getting seriously damaged and whatnot. So they're up here saying, hey, if we was a little bit more careful, we could have got some information out of the rats and everything. So let's go back and plan like our next move here after they finish off the falcons. So after the fight was over, they go back to headquarters, and that's when Dark Dove pretty much told them, hey, I got something based upon the signature and everything that you told me about as far as the energy is concerned. There's something bigger down there that nobody knows about. So that's when Fable was like, hey, we need to figure out what's what. We got to split the team up. I'm going to take Dark Dove with me, and we're going to go underground to visit the rats to figure out what they're doing here, while Cherry Bomb and Gladius goes to this one location that Dark Dove spots via computer to figure out what was going on. So all of that is determined here, and they kind of figure, the whole thing about the Croc King comes back up. So I got a little bit ahead of myself dialogue wise here. So as the team splits up, you get to see the rats and everything. They're up here, convalescing, trying to figure out what in the world is going on, how they know about our plan, this, that, the other. And then all of a sudden here comes, oh, I got it wrong. It was Gladius and Fable that went to go visit the rats and everything. So they get into another altercation with the rats and everything. While that is happening, we have Cherry Bomb and Dark Dove. Cherry Bomb throws an actual bomb into a civilian office building to create a distraction for them to fly in to connect up to the computer to actually get government documents. Oops, camera. Sorry about that. Okay, camera is now stable. To get government documents to prove that what they thought about the Croc King was actual happening, that there is something down there in the sewers that could be the Croc King, which was verified. So while they're up here dealing with the Falcons and everything, Fable and Gladius is pretty much trying to deal with the once they finish with the Falcons, they told one of the rats, like, hey, you guys better watch out. The rumors about the Croc King is real. So instead of chasing after the rat, they let them go. So Fable and Gladius end up rendezvousing with all of them. And then we find out the true thing about them. They're almost like, if I could make an equivalence here, they're almost like gargoyles. During the nighttime, they do all the missions, but when daytime hits, they go back to their coops and they do their debriefs, and they are pretty much regular pigeons. for the rest of the day. So that's how issue number 1 ends. We don't know what the actual Croc King looks like, but it sets up the precedence that there's going to be a bigger faction that they have to deal with in the longer run. The pros about this issue here is that they did a very, very, very good job as far as how the birds actually interact with weaponry and how they do their maneuvers and everything. So the artist took great care into designing everything where everything could be used properly by the birds. Everything from the knives to the guns to even cherry bomb throwing, actual literal cherry bombs, actual explosives, the way that she throws them. All of that was done very nicely. The con to this here is that we don't get a backstory about who they really are. They never, they pretty much throw us in the middle of a story, which in a lot of cases, I don't like that for a first issue, unless they're going to do like a flashback. The flashback that they did give to us kind of makes us understand that they're not normal pigeons, that they actually are carrier pigeons, and that at least Fable used to be a wartime carrier pigeon based upon the flashback that he told Cherry Bomb about. So it didn't give us about how their organization was formed, but it gave us a better idea of why this group does what they do based upon Fable's flashback. So overall, I would have to give Carriers number 1, I would say it's 6 out of 10, only because there's really no backstory that really leads into what they're doing. And they're telling the story as if we know the history between them as being carrier pigeons versus the rats and the falcons and all the other creatures of New York. I mean, we're kind of still left in the dark as far as history and why certain things are the way that it is. But the story that they're telling is very good in this presentation, and it keeps your interest to make you pick up at issue number 2. But overall, I still would like to have some more of the backstory, or at least hints that the part of their backstory about how they came to be will be told later on. We got no hints. We just was thrown in the middle of what war they're fighting as of right now. So that's kind of like the key thing to look at. So 6 out of 10, Carriers number 1.
All right, thank you, Joe. I keep
good feathers.
Yeah, that annoys me too, Joe. That that a lot of books, or too many books, I think, write as if written as if the writer thinks you can read their mind. Bun. Anyway,
yeah.
So that's a sore point of me. Thank you very much, Joe. That was great. And let's see, we've got more comments. Sarah Pads advertisement covered by blood under the sheets. Okay, we got it under the sheets with Sarah. And Eric, did you buy enough copies of Monkey Meat to roll up into a fireplace log or something?
I all the books I've bought so far since the new year started are sitting next to me on a comic box here, where I've filed all the ones from last year away. But this one I always keep running across at the bottom of the stack. I throw it, comes back. It's magical.
It's probably a horror story in there, the comic that would not die. He can't get rid of his monkey meat. And Trish Bankson goes, have fun, guys. I got another show to be on. Much love. Always be good to one another. Mwah. Love you, Trish. Good luck on your show, and continue good luck on your Kickstarter. And Sarah, in the comic agent you are reviewing, what's one quote that is hilarious while leaving out the context of it? Do you have one, Joe?
Which one comment that was hilarious, but I'll leave it out the context of it.
For the that you're reviewing tonight.
Oh, that was reviewing tonight, because the first one that came to our mind is the running joke that myself and Clyde had. Does it taste like pineapples?
There we go. There we
Mine
go.
would be smells like death in there, doesn't it?
Mine would be
Oh, let's look.
massive, thick, heavy, and far too rough.
Welcome to my OnlyFans page. Let's see here. Let me find some. Clyde, do you have something?
I'm looking.
Yeah, I'm looking too.
Now she's specifically asking from carriers, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
the book you reviewed tonight. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would be what Fable said to Cherry Bomb about war.
What is it good for?
No.
Nothing.
Oh, let's see.
Well, here's a humorous exchange. Do I look like I read Mystical Conspiracy Theory monthly? Well, I mean, if that's a real publication, maybe you should. Then you know what I was talking about.
And my quote will be, "What? Check out that white-hipped beauty coming towards us. Almost makes me regret my vow of celibacy." You guys are probably like, what the hell is Brian reading tonight?
I know that book.
Yes,
That
you
was a good
should. You
read.
probably do. Yes,
That's a good read.
It's true. So, and I think we got everybody right.
Yes.
And let's see, Dan Holyfield says, "Oh no, it's the Pigeon Cave. Stop giving me these prompts for my horrible jokes. Why do you think we do it, Dan?" Anyway, don't show all of it, por favor, says Sarah. Spoilers, says Sarah. And one book I won't throw is Geiger #1. Just saying. And I love posting those. It's hilarious. This is great. Sarah's having her own show here. This is wonderful. We got to get her on the network. So anyway, thank you again, Joe D. McFee.
Not a problem.
Oh, always a pleasure. And that leaves the way for Brian Rodman.
Oh, well. All right
So,
then.
Do this thing.
So, if you guys have been following my shenanigans on Facebook, you'll know that I have just jumped into the deep end of manga. And I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it so far.
Hentai or manga?
Manga.
Okay.
Definitely manga. Don't worry.
Notice that hesitation before you answer.
Yeah. Well, I say that because some of the books, none of these, but some books kind of flirt with that line. So far, this is what I have picked up in the last week. And I am absolutely loving the book that I'm going to review tonight. And it's by unfortunately the late Kentaro Miura. And it is Berserk. This book is not new by any sense of the word. It came out in the 1980s, and it is absolutely for mature readers. And it is not. Well, yeah. It is. It is heavy on the violence, and it is a very, very dark story so far. I've read the first 2.5 volumes, and let's just say, do not take this warning lightly. I can't even show you the first page of volume 1. And
welcome to the last manga you'll ever read.
Right, I do have to say the first page of volume 1 is the most graphic sexually in the entire book series so far, and it turns unsexual rather quickly. So it is, and there is a pretty good purpose for it. It's awesome. Well, anyway, right after
you said manga, not hentai.
Well, difference between hentai and manga would be the first page of this book would be the whole book.
Oh.
That's the difference between hentai and manga.
And tentacles.
That's Saga. And so we are introduced to the main character, who is Guts. And we are, he reminds me very much of the main character from the Castlevania series. He reminds you a little bit of Geralt from The Witcher.
So Simon Belmont and
very, kind of definitely just bitter, lone wolf type, doesn't work well with others. Along his
Just to
first
say this,
adventure,
good read. You picked a good read.
yes. On his first adventure, this first volume is kind of an anthology of all the different stories that we follow. It follows a timeline, but it really focuses on introducing you to Guts as a character. Along the way, we also get to know Puck, who is an elf who gets rescued by Guts in the beginning. But don't let that fool you. Guts wants nothing to do with Puck at all, but Puck keeps showing up. In the indeed, that needs to be a bumper sticker. But in the first issue, rather, the first portion, the first chapter, we see some amazing swordplay. Which, well, not so much swordplay, more of just warning. It's graphic. More of just Guts slicing people in half in 2-page spreads, which is so wonderful. It's all in black and white, which I love. And I do have to say, as a Final Fantasy VII fan, the sword does it for me, guys. And that was actually the description of what I read earlier. It is massive, thick, heavy, and far too rough indeed. It was like a heap of raw iron. It was much too big to be called a sword. And we just follow Guts on different adventures that, kind of happen one after another, but not time skips between the different stories. He gets banged up quite a bit in this book. We see him get into some really gnarly situations. We meet a lot of really amazing villains in this series. And it's definitely all a medieval fantasy, very, very dark horror fantasy. Just look at that art. Very gothic. And the black and white really just adds to all of that. In the first or second chapter, we are introduced to a marking that is on the back of Guts's neck, and it randomly bleeds sometimes. And it is called the brand. And for those who don't know, I don't want to spoil it for you. It's a really cool. This is a very well told story. Right now, there are 40 volumes of this series, and with manga, for those who don't know, the difference between manga and comics is manga comes out like this. It comes out in a graphic novel form, and it is told in order. So you should not pick up volume 2 if you haven't read volume 1. They don't do a whole lot of summaries. It's not like if you just pick up a random X-Men comic, you'll get the gist of what's happening. If you pick up a random manga comic and you know nothing about it, or manga book, and know nothing about the series and it's volume 6, you're going to be completely lost. And I like that.
And read it backwards.
You do read it backwards.
Yes.
That is true. Yes.
Let people know that if they pick up a book, I don't understand this at all yet.
Here's if you get the book and you open it the way that we Westerners open books and read them, and you can't get past this page without realizing you've done something wrong, I can't help you. But overall, I don't want to give a whole lot of away. I do have just some really cool art pieces to. Oh, good grief! One of the most diabolical villains I have ever read in literature, comics, movies, whatever, is the Count, and he is in the first 2.5 volumes of this series.
Looks like Dungeon Master's big brother from
the cartoon series. I tell you guys, he is no joke. And here, let me just. This is him in a different form. Let's see if I can find this page really quick. Later on, we see him. Who he really is. This isn't really a spoiler because you know he's not really a person, like a real human, as soon as you meet him.
Whoa!
that is what he actually looks like, and he is a gnarly villain. I love this series so far. Like I said, I'm on volume 3. You can see my bookmark there. And I can't say enough good things about this. 10 out of 10. This is fantastic. I hate that. So I've watched the anime. I wasn't a huge fan because it has terrible CG. And it got in that weird period where anime tried to do CG a little too much, and it really wasn't that great. I'm an anime fan. I like anime. I think that's awesome. And I've read manga before. I have a huge my hardback leather bound first volume of Hellsing down here next to me, and I love that series. I really haven't just jumped into manga before, and so over the next few weeks I will be in this medium. I'll be reviewing Demon Slayer Volume 1, which if you haven't watched this anime, it's on Netflix. Do it. It's fantastic. And also Attack on Titan Volume 1, which is a great story. The anime kind of gets on my nerves, so I'm excited about reading it instead of hearing some of those voice actors.
Brian, look up Dead Man Wonderland.
Dead Man Wonderland?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'll check it out. Where's my phone? Here it is. All right. So Berserk, 10 out of 10. Fantastic read. Any of your comic book mongers are going to have this. If they don't have this in the store, most comic book shops have a whole manga section now. So if they don't have it in store, they can absolutely get it for you. Right now, they are a little hard to find because so many people are doing what I'm doing and jumping onto the manga train here in America. And right now, manga is outselling American comics hand over fist. I mean, it is crazy if you look at the numbers. But I had to track this guy down, and I did end up getting the first 3 volumes of this. The second and third volume are delayed because they need to print more.
Try Books A Million.
Books A Million has them. You can actually get a really good coupon if you become a member of Books A Million as well, specifically for manga.
They have a large section of manga.
Yes, absolutely.
And so do a lot of Barnes and Noble, yeah.
Yeah, Barnes and Noble. If you want to submit to your Lord and mine, Jeff Bezos, you can order them off of Amazon. But also, but just, this is where I got, actually got these from Right Now Anime. They were on sale. They have sales every week as well. They're also all available on Comixology. So you can always go there. If it's always going to be at least half price. So I recommend checking that out as well. But Sarah, I'm looking at you. This should be next. Put whatever you were going to read next. Yes. Whatever you were going to read next. This goes above it now. You will love this series.
Volume 9 or 10.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. So it is one of the best series I've ever read. And I don't say that lightly. I am burning through this series. This series alone is going to make me so poor. So
and we're doing our part to help everyone else be that way too.
Yes. Yep. So that's my review for this week.
Yep.
Beautiful, Brian. Thank you
There's
so
only
much.
one thing that I disagree with you on.
What's that?
And that's the way you was talking about the volumes. Like if you read them out of order, you will never know what history happened up to that point. The way that they break it down, because they break down manga volumes based upon story arc, and their story arc is so much smaller than ours.
That is true, but I would say
a lot of the subtleties that were brought in from other volumes by skipping.
I would say, but I would say that it does follow more of it. Like it depends on what story it is too, which is the same for American comics. I mean, some stories in American comics. I mean, for example, Memoirs of an Angel. You can find them at brianrodman.com. It is a book that you don't want to read out of order. It's a series that you want
We
to start at
can't.
issue 1. I know. you want to start at issue 1 and you want to keep going.
Yes, I have read every issue of the Nebulizer in order.
Yes. Oh, it said Memoirs of an Angel.
Well, I read it. Yeah, I read that too.
The
But my
Nebulizer,
joke was funnier.
Yeah, whatever.
Darn it, I was thinking of Nebulizer.
Yeah. The Nebulizer will be that too, but it's only gonna, it's gonna end up just being graphic novels. So there's only gonna be like 3 or 4 issues per story. So that will be broken up like a mini series. So that would be, you'd be able to jump in at issue 5 and it would be a new story arc. So
Hey, Mr.
Yeah, as long as you
Rodman,
don't pull Chris Claremont to be like something that you talked about in story arc number 5 that comes back in story arc number 11.
Yeah.
Well,
is this Guts? Because I'm not sure. Let me, because we did it Berserk on one of our drawn and quartered shows, and I didn't know which character I was drawing. I knew nothing about it. So
Yes,
Yes.
that is
Okay.
Guts.
all right.
Oh,
You can tell always by the sword.
Mhm.
Huh. Yeah, it was big.
Yes, and in fact, I've been collecting little bone moths from all of us, and here's Brian's. It was too big to be called a sword. So anyway, and that will go along with this other one. I'd rather read a Cullen Bunn book. Rip, Eric S. Hawkins. And pretty soon, I'm sure I'll have enough. I can just fill it in with my crap soon. But anyway, we still have some comments
You have
here.
to add Clyde Hall wins from the night.
Oh, I don't think so.
Oh, that
No,
was
no.
great.
Oh, that was glorious.
That
Oh my
was
God.
so wonderful.
I need a cigarette
It
after
was
that one.
well timed.
And so, Brian, it's a Hugh manga. That's right, it is. And Sarah is going to use her hentai as coloring books.
They do have those.
I have seen the kind of hentai that Sarah may or may not have. I don't want to sully the young lady's reputation more than she has when she mentions my wife has been in her bed.
If she's really that dark and deep into hentai,
You have no idea.
look up the series Super Taboo.
I think that might be the one she has. Let's just say, what is the song by the Kinks, Lola? There's a lot of that in there. Anyway, ooh la la, gorgeous artwork. And I've been wanting to go watch the anime on Netflix, says Rick Bradley. Well, I think now's the time to go then.
The anime doesn't do the manga justice.
I watched the anime, Rick, and I did not really care for it too much. I love this so much more. This is light years better than the anime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Sarah says, so many manga books go far into the double digits, but I've fallen in love with them too. Well, I was collecting Naruto, the original series, and I think the collected volumes are up like in the maybe 60s, 70s, maybe more.
Oh, wow.
But it went on a good long time.
Oh,
so.
just One Piece. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, yeah. No
Good
joke.
grief. Yeah.
And let's see. Sarah says, "OMG." I have my that's the Max Headroom pronunciation. I have my sights on Demon Slayer. Entire collection is $300 per box set on Amazon. I want the precious. Well, that's well beyond her budget, but she's writing it down.
I saw that collection and I was like, oh, but no, my wife would kill me.
I don't get into stuff like that, but Dead Man Wonderland.
Oh yes, thank you.
Yes.
Dead Man Wonderland, that series. I was so angry that the animated team for that anime series stopped because of Attack on Titan. And then I went back to the manga and started reading the manga. I was like, they cut it off at the best part. What the hell? There was so much more to be done in that series based upon the manga, and they just chopped it because Attack on Titan was more popular.
And you know what? I go back to the age-old saying: books are better than the movies. Mm-hmm. And I don't
books
say that
are always good.
Yeah, I don't. There you go. I don't say that to diss movies. Obviously, I love movies. Movies are amazing. They've changed my life. But books, if you want all the details, all the fun, good bits that always the book series. They're gonna. I mean, I always go back to Harry Potter. I watched the movies before I read the books. The reason I went back to the books to read them is because the last movie made me so mad. Because I was like, I feel like I'm missing half the story. And I was. Half the story is missing from the movies.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Books are more
always better.
personal.
Yes.
Books are more personal. Comics have a small creative crew.
Mhm.
A couple of the ones I've been most impressed by the last few months had like the writer and the artist doing everything else. So it can be very personal.
Yeah.
And I love film, but film has a lot of filters. And all it takes to get it off is to have, and it can't include every detail. It can't include every good scene, but the filters of people and the production folks and everything, it only takes one to get things out of whack and make it less than it would be otherwise, I think. So it's a tough thing to try to condense a book into a film version that pleases the reader in the same way that a book does.
Yeah.
And the ones that do, they win Academy Awards. So,
That's true. Well, and also I think you can absorb a book more at your own pace.
Yes.
Yeah.
Than you can a
Is The
comic
Princess
or
Bride better as a book or a movie?
That is one of the only exceptions to the rule. That I say, is I think it's just because they did so. They're almost two different things.
Two different tones. That's the thing.
The movie was a parody of itself almost.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, that's good stuff. And anyway, Donna Carly asks in response to my earlier statement, Sarah, are you being sullied? And Carl Wilson says Sarah came pre-sullied. But anyway,
how would he know?
moving on. The Magic Nick Lindsay says, which comic book superhero would you want to face Phantom of the Opera in a showdown? Wow. Berserker.
The Shadow.
The Shadow. Bang, 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 bang. We're done. No, Berserker with Keanu Reeves because he's cool and he can dodge bullets. Yes, Joe.
I'm just shaking my head like, wow.
Yeah, okay. And with my bank account situation, the anime will have to do for now, says Rick Bradley.
Yeah,
Understood. Understood. Dan Hollifield, Jake, probably the best match would be Will Eisner's The Spirit. That'd be a good matchup for LaRose.
Yeah,
Phantom of the Opera. That's a serious answer, and that's seriously good.
That's
I like
a good
that,
one.
Dan.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That's
answer.
a good one.
I think the Ambush Bug, because that way, this is a very serious character. And he would just die of embarrassment, I think, from having Ambush Bug be the hero. But
yeah, or I can see Deadpool also. Yeah, Eric, you think your face is messed up? Look at this, you know.
You made me think about an unlikely character to match him up against,
or
especially if he becomes a fan of the Phantom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about Howard the Duck?
How about
There you go.
how about Black Bolt? Because all he's got to do is just do one. He's got to do one solo number and it's done. This is it.
That's right.
I know.
One note.
Yeah.
Or
I got it.
Dazzler.
B-Man.
Oh,
B-Man.
B-Man. Yeah.
B-Man, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Good choice. Good choice. And Danny Phantom. Good one, too. Well done, young man. And if I'm correct, could the Phantom hypnotize another ghost like he hypnotized Christine? I don't know. Then we call in Dead Man. And Dead Davis Artistry, I'm sorry I couldn't hear Clyde over my cries of pain from my burns. Ouch. He's still smart and good work, Clyde.
Yes.
And Howard the Duck, yes, says Dan Hollofield. We have a vote for Howard the Duck there. So anyway, Eric, are you ready to give us a wonderful review?
Sure. Well, it'll be a review. I don't know if it's going to be wonderful.
It's always wonderful, especially when you rip the books.
That's right, and send them flying. So
I've liked the series. I'm not going to rip it.
Well, that's true.
I know.
Well,
it's only happened once.
Yeah, but anyway, never mind.
It has only happened once.
Right. You made a jigsaw puzzle. Get it right. You made a jigsaw puzzle. That's what you
Okay, so I got this week, so I'm going to try to rip it.
Yeah. Good luck.
This one's a hardback. Oh, I did get it in the mail. It's the only new book I received this week from some guy on Dastardly Dingoes.
Some loser.
But I'm going to
Don't you talk about Jeremy that way.
Oh, sorry, Jeremy.
Regarding the matter of Oswald's body number 3, because I didn't go to the shop this week and I hadn't read this yet, so I thought I would read it. The story revolves around this little ragtag team that's been brought together to find a look-alike for Harvey Oswald. At least close enough. And they have a mission to go kill him, shoot him in the gut, specifically on one side, which eventually matches the shot Oswald got. Well, they found that person last week, Sonny, and they got him, and or not last week, last issue. But I think one of the very few only ads in here is a fake ad for Dr. Poppers. But they found the body, and it starts out. They've got the body on ice. They got the guy. Everybody's calling him the wrong name. Sammy, and there's someone else in here calls him the wrong name too. Everybody goes, "It's Sonny." But their leader shows up. Who which hand? That one. That got all these people together. And he says, "I got one more thing for you to do. I need you to take this to the police station tomorrow, because that's where Lee Harvey Oswald's going to be." And he calls him by the wrong name too. But he brought some beer for everybody. He sticks it on the ice with the dead body, because he doesn't think he will mind. And I believe he called him the wrong name too. I can't remember. I know he did. Yeah, because someone said Sonny. Yeah, I don't think Smitty here will mind. He's like, Sonny. But here's your group of people. I mean, they're not normal people. They don't have superpowers. They're just kind of a group of people. Each one has somewhat of a specialty, but they're not even that great. But it's a wide cast of characters, and they bicker around like a family would do almost. Which they're coming together on their own in the last 3 issues. So they end up taking the body. This is where it gets good, because I almost think the artist might trace this. I am not sure. But they go to the police station, and they're going to switch out Oswald with this character. This panel here, this 2-page spread, that's got a sound effect right in the middle of it.
That sound effect.
I almost think that might have been traced.
Mm-mm.
Because the facial expressions are dead on. I mean, not traced line for line, but I think he laid it under and went around it. But I mean, it looks good. It doesn't look like it's traced, but it almost looks too good, especially the that guy right there. I can't remember his name. One of you older guys, right? Remember who that was?
Yeah, let me look it up. I'm going to look it up on Wikipedia.
But of course, you got Jack Ruby shooting him in the gut. Because when you look at the rest of the panel and the characters on them, the detail in the faces isn't as good.
Yeah.
So
I looked up the photo when I read the comic, thinking the same thing, just to compare it. And I'm not sure that you're wrong. I think that it could very well have been done that way.
Yeah, I mean, he might have just done like the facial expressions and where they were, the outlines of the characters to get them on the proper position. Because it looked, I mean, when I saw that, I was like, that looks dead on. Even though it's very minimal, I was impressed. I mean, it looked nice, and I was like, cool. But of course, they're supposed to switch the body at the police station. They can't do that because Oswald just been shot. So they got to take off in a pickup truck and chase the ambulance down to the hospital to switch the bodies. And they get there, and of course, they're able to switch the bodies because there's an inside man guarding the body. So they switch Sonny out with Lee Harvey. But, Lee Harvey's dead, and they don't know what to do now. But then, because that's what I'm thinking. I'm reading this. I'm like, well, why did they even bother to switch the bodies if they shot Oswald? That doesn't make any sense. But then, a hand comes out of the cooler. And I'm going to spoil it because, you had to figure this was coming anyway. Smells like death in here, doesn't it?
Nice.
So now I'm curious because, I mean, I've been interested in it's mainly because it's about the assassination of JFK and Lee Harvey Oswald. I wanted to see where they were going with the story. Well, now the story has come that Lee Harvey Oswald is actually still alive. Well, at the time this happened. Why? Why is he still alive? The guy that brought them all together admits in this book that he made Lee Harvey. He is a creation of him. So I'm thinking he didn't want him killed for some reason. But why is he alive? What's he going to do in the future? I got to know more. I need to know more. I need issue 4 now. So I'm going to give this one of my higher grades because I've really enjoyed the story from Boom Studios. 8 out of 10.
Yay!
And we are not going to throw it. We're going to set it right down here. Right down here on my Cad Bane drawing I've been working on.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Ooh, nice.
There we go.
All right.
That made it to his Hall of Fame.
Very
Excellent.
nice.
I like
That
sounds good.
where the story's going. Yeah, it's been really
That's
nice.
been a wonder, and the whole realization that those characters have of they have something in common. They do have something in common, even though they're very different. They're expendable,
Yes, they are.
Yes.
and they know it. And with this issue, they really come together. Of we have to look at, we have to cover each other's backs because there's nobody else that's going to. They are
Especially, after last issue when he kept
Yeah.
offering him more money, one more thing. I'll pay you double. I'll pay you quadruple. More money,
Yeah.
more money. They're like,
yeah. Also on the art, he has a good representation of the way real characters looked. But his fictional characters are also as nicely rendered. I mean, they're as real as the historical cast, which is really that's an achievement. I thought it was really good. But I've been reading The Fourth Man. Yeah, The Fourth Man premiered last week before, and it has cast actors in the roles of each of the people of this mystery. That is just, I mean, but it is distracting. They have a really cool story going on, but you can't help but going, you're going, so this character is that guy, and you're trying to hear it in his voice, but the character isn't somebody he's played before or she's played before. So you're like, why does everybody have to look like it can, once one character maybe, but the whole cast to be Hollywoodized is weird to me. But
very cool, very cool. And I
would say my favorite moment in this book when the boss came in and said, "Sounds like Yellow Rose voted for Nixon."
Yeah.
Well, that's funny. That's
her response is equally,
Well, to answer a question earlier, the gentleman in the white Stetson that was handcuffed to Lee Harvey Oswald, his name is James R. Lavelle. He died August 29, 2019, at the age of 99. He was a survivor of Pearl Harbor.
Oh.
And he was a veteran Dallas homicide. Yes, I didn't either. I'm looking at the New York Times obit for him. He survived the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941, was handcuffed to Mr. Oswald, and was leading him through a police station basement on November 24th, 1963, when Mr. Ruby, a nightclub owner, stepped out of the crowd and pumped a fatal bullet into the prisoner. The photo.
Did he?
Or yes,
Dun,
that's
dun,
right.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. But no, but also that photograph that the illustration is based on won the Pulitzer Prize the following year. Moments earlier, now this is kind of fun here. Moments earlier, he and Mr. Oswald had an eerie exchange. Mr. Lavelle often later recounted, saying, "Lee, if anybody shoots at you, I hope they are as good a shot as you." To which Mr. Oswald replied, "You're being melodramatic."
Yeah.
Wow.
Jeez.
So anyway, we're glad to clear that up. This is the learning place. You're learning history here, kids. But anyway, Lissy says, Dad's having a good review year, it seems.
Except for Monkey Meat.
Yeah, Monkey Meat's weighing heavily on the scales here. And good review, Slayer, says Ted Davies Artistry.
It ain't no Geiger, but thank you.
Oh, I smelled. Are those the flames getting stoked up again? What the hell? So anyway, good one, Eric. Good one. So I guess it's my turn now.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I will seize the screen here and to remind everybody that for the last about 36 hours, about 24, 36 hours or so, the Midwest has been, actually it's a storm front that extended from the southwestern corner of Texas all the way up to Maine at one point. So this is pretty massive. We, before this is over, which should be any minute now as we're broadcasting this, we are probably going to get somewhere between 10 and 18 inches rather here in the Lafayette, Indiana area. And so obviously, being far smarter than I look, I did not go to my comic monger today, Blue Moon Comics in Lafayette, Indiana. But I have an alternative. I have this. Yeah, there's a lot of fingerprints on it, okay? And let's fire this up. There is a service that I have been talking about. Let's see, hold on here. That I've been talking about frequently called Comixology. Thanks to Comixology, I have something to review tonight. I have several things, actually. But one thing I do want to show that I would have gotten from my my comic monger is the official Image timeline by Jim Valentino, one of the original 7 who organized Image Comics back in the 90s. And it's a month by month thing on what happened that month that led up to, or what happened in the Image universe. So that's interesting. And this page here, I don't know if I'll be able to show it here, but you see at the top, I was mentioning the Chicago Comic-Con. There's the booklet for it, and those are those fans that everybody kept redrawing the Image eye to look like a phallus. Not everyone was as enchanted with Image as they were. But there's one nice thing is, like, when I was wondering if the second series of Ultraman was any good, I picked it up on the first issue on here. Okay. And having an Alex Ross painting on your Kindle here is not a bad thing. Also, it's easier to lift. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. This is a huge file here. But let's see if I can kill it. Oh, but anyway, let's see. Yeah, but anyway, this is a reprint of old Brave and Bolds.
Wow.
And look how clean that is. That beautiful Nick Cardy artwork.
Yeah.
And that's going to lead into Neil Adams. As Batman, for those of you who don't know, for a while, Brave and Bold Comics, for about 3/4 of its history, was a team-up book with Batman. More often than not. And in this one issue, which has a rare story by Denny O'Neil in it. Oops. Let's get back here. Denny O'Neil. And art by Neil Adams. So anyway, we're going to close that. And you can get all kinds of wonderful, wonderful books. Here's one that I recommend that I just started reading. And I'm quite thrilled with it. Pick it up right now on from Exigency Studios. And also on... Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And let's see here. And you get like a little summary that goes with it. No, but the one we're going to talk about tonight is one that I've been looking forward to so much. And I think Sarah, I'll probably find some more weird quotes in here. But what I'd like to review tonight is the Monkey Prince. From, let's see, get some credits on here so I get everybody correctly identified. Jean Luen Yang.
Yay!
Yeah, who is an Eisner winner for Superman Battles the Klan last year. A marvelous, marvelous book. Also has done a lot of stuff with Shang-Chi at Marvel as of late, and also at DC, where he got a big push. He's done like Action Comics, The Terrifics, and one of the most entertaining series I've read in years called The Superman, which was part of the Rebirth movement, where it takes place in communist China, where someone gets a hold of Superman's DNA and injects it into a guy who takes on the powers of Superman, but he can only access them if he's a good person. And it was quite entertaining. I really enjoyed it. So anyway, this one here is, like I said, is by Jean Luen Yang. great writer. And pencils and inks by Bernard Chang, colored by Sebastian Chang, and lettered by Janice Chiang. Notice Asians. We're very inclusive here. But it even has ads. Anyway, but no, it's about a young man here named Marcus who has a trauma during a thunderstorm that's really cemented when he finds someone beating up his dad. Okay? Somebody fairly familiar. And it's really nice because the kid wanders in, sees Batman clubbing dad like a baby seal, and Batman turns. And Batman, I don't know how I do it, but anyway, Batman just turns and just looks at the father and goes, "There's a child in the house.
Yeah.
Tell your employer this isn't over." And this traumatizes the boy. Because there were puddles left by Batman's shoes, he has these panic attacks when he comes in contact with water. Okay? And of course, being high school, he runs afoul of the local bully, who then dumps him in the big Olympic-sized pool, the trauma pit. And then we have a little bit of demon casting in here with the Penguin and two associates. And unfortunately, the Penguin gets the demon inside him instead of like a henchman that has done Penguin wrong. Well, the high school's janitor, that's the one who made the comment about what a babe Marcus's mom is. And he tells the kid that you must face your fear. Go through the water curtain. Go into the pool. And after coming back, Marcus finds he's coated with this stuff that he thinks is basically bad breath from the janitor drinking too much soda. Except it really has trouble going away. And the problem is that the next day all seems relatively well for poor Marcus until he's sitting in class and this girl that he's got a crush on notices that, oops, Marcus has a new appendage, a tail. Okay?
Marcus,
I know. I hate when that happens. Who hasn't had that happen to him in high school, right? And so anyway, he goes and he does take a dip into the terror pool there. And he goes to a rather magical land, and he finds out that this magical land belongs to his father, his true father. And it's this guy. The Asians have a legend of the Monkey King, who is kind of a trickster god who is immortal. I think it was a Chow Yun Fat, or no, it was
Jackie Chan.
Maybe Jackie Chan, but there was one about like the golden something or other. I gotta look. I'll look it up during Clyde's review. But it was all about the Monkey King. Very entertaining movie. But anyway, it turns out that there's the janitor. And it seems that young Marcus has a little bit of an inheritance coming his way. He is now a god in training. He's the Monkey Prince. Not the Monkey King, but the Monkey Prince. And, of course, what's the first thing you'd do when you had superpowers? That's right, you'd go and wallop on the bad guy that laid you out the day before. Unfortunately, this is noticed by a young Damian Wayne. Oh, things can only get worse from there. And a fight ensues. And we find out the Monkey King is fast and agile. And I'm not going to show you the ending. But it's kind of a shocker. And it's going to be a little difficult to see how the Monkey Prince...
Batman.
That's right. Yes, Batman does come into the boys' locker room.
He punched Batman.
That's right. He's Batman. Yes, and he's with all these showering children now. Wortham was right. But anyway, this is, although it continues into the next issue. And there's only one ad, that one I showed you. That was the only ad. So if you're really a fan of ads, I'm going to give this one a 0.5. No ad, just that one ad, and it wasn't anything I planned to buy. But no, Monkey Prince is fun in that early Spider-Man kind of way. And the art by Bernard Chang, as always, is terrific. The coloring is glorious. There is a lot to recommend this book. And the thing is also, reading it on, there is something you can do if you get it on Amazon or Comixology. Does it do it for here? Well, of course, when I've got 50,000 million people watching me, of course it doesn't do it. But there's a way you can read this like one panel at a time. It's really nice. But the nice thing is, for I don't use these because they make me look good, okay? But the nice thing is you can read this in a larger format.
I think if you double click on the panel, it'll do it.
Right.
Oh, there it goes. Thank you, Brian.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then if you just slide it, it'll
yeah,
go.
and it'll just move to the next one. See?
Yeah.
And you could then turn it like this and get a really big look at it.
Yep.
So if you've got problem,
comic
if your vision is like mine, and you can't get your seeing eye dog to read the book to you, this is really a great service. And but anyway, let me close this out, and then bring it back up. The Monkey Prince from DC Comics. It is going to be thoroughly integrated into the DC universe. It looks like. Will you get back to where I need you? Anyway, and there we go, the Monkey Prince. Definitely, I give this a lot of first issues are not that great, but this one is. This is terrific, and I think there's a lot of potential here. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to give this one a 10 out of 10. This was worth reading. I definitely think you should at least check it out. So that's my review of The Monkey Prince #1 from DC Comics. And next week, I was expecting about 3 more comics next week. We'll tell you what they are, but we'll see what happens next time around, because I think we're not going to leave the house for the next 2 days. So because we can't. And we're going to bring Eric back in here. So yay! So anyway, that's my review of the Monkey Prince. Really worth your time. So,
It was a fun read, and it was a beautifully drawn book.
I just bought it on Comixology.
See, we're not just the president of the Hair Club, we're a member too. So anyway, Dan Hollifield says Oswald was shot with the real magic bullet, and Carlene think Ruby was in on the switch. There is there is a means of there are some people who think that he was in on it, that he was either an active part of the conspiracy to get rid of Oswald, or to get a patsy and then get rid of him, because he died of cancer, I believe, in jail. And I think that this was part of his service to his country, I think. But yes, Donna, he definitely jumped the gun. And yeah, and Carl points out that our commie bedwetter bots have not shown up tonight. I think they're along the eastern side of the Ukraine right now.
I saw them earlier today in another chat.
Oh, did they? Okay.
So they're alive, but
maybe they're ignoring us for now. And can never go wrong with Ultraman. That's true. And this was a good series, Dan. I do recommend it if you are any fan of the original Ultraman. And the second volume, The Trial of Ultraman, leads into a new series that'll come out this year called it'll be about Ultra Jack. So, and was it Jackie Chan or Eddie Murphy? Not Eddie Murphy. It was an Asian actor.
That's the golden child.
Golden child. Yes, that's different.
I thought about the movie that Brian Rodman was talking about, because it had Jet Li as well.
Jet Li, that's the one.
Well, it was Forbidden Kingdom.
Right.
Okay.
That was the name of the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, it has Jet Li and Jackie Chan both are in it. So I think
that's right. Jackie Chan played the shop owner, right?
He played the shop owner, and then he also played. Did he play the Monkey King, Joe?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I thought Jet Li. Or I need to go back and watch that movie, because that was a good movie.
I forgot what what Jet Li, he played another legendary character.
Yeah, they were all legendary
Yeah.
Asian characters, and I loved it. It was a fun movie.
It was. I need to watch it again.
It was like the best fight ever because it was like
great.
it's like Candy. It was like whatever Jet Li was, can he ever beat the Monkey King at his own game?
Yeah.
Yes. And Rick Bradley says, "What? No Superman? Not even a cameo? Well, let's see what we can do here." Yeah. See. Okay, I've got it. It's like which one? More accurate. Okay, we'll do this one. And while it's downloading. But anyway, Stan Hollifield says, "Stupid o'clock in 15 minutes. Great show, guys. Have a good time. Dan, we'll come in and check with you when we can." Oh yeah, let's put this up on the screen from Clyde. Clyde, talk about this little beauty here.
This is from 1975, a power record. I got to go to my comic book shop this week because it hadn't really come a great big snow on us yet. So I braved it, and I was rewarded with finding this, which even has the 45 record in there too.
That's cool.
Nice.
Yep. And it's got Kurt Swan art on the interior. Old school Superman stuff, and I already went and found the audio part on YouTube, so I could read along, and every time it goes ding, change turn the page. But it was it's not one that I had as a kid, so I was glad to get it, and just a little bit of nostalgia. A very well loved copy, but now it's going to get loved more. Also, I saw that they had it as a Peter Pan record.
Yeah.
And this is a power record, and I was like, that's weird that it has exactly the same copyright year, the same covers in it, but switched out here with their logo. And I found out that when they began to do things like the Planet of the Apes adaptations and things,
right?
Peter Pan decided to make an imprint called Power. I didn't know they were the same company, but it's a subsidiary of Peter Pan Records. So some of the first ones came out as both Peter Pan and as Power Records. So
cool, very cool. See how much you're learning tonight, people? Oh my God, how much would you pay?
And that definitely won't be on the spinner rack.
Yeah,
no, it
that
won't.
will not. Yeah.
No, in fact, they did a whole bunch of really great comics. They did some Conan with John Buscema. I don't know who all wrote them all. I'm gonna have to the Grand Comics database to find out. But like that one, I told Clyde, I believe that was inked by the Neil Adams studio. So it's probably Dick Giordano, Neil Adams, and such. I remember having a couple. I still have them downstairs. I have a Star Trek drawn by John Buscema, and it's
That's
nice.
cool.
It's pretty.
Yeah.
A lot of the regular talent did. Neil Adams did a lot of stuff for him. I'll have to look that up during the next review. And wait a second. Here we go. No Superman, not even a cameo. Here you go. More of the Superman. There you go. Anyway, and Damian Waldron. Oh crap! All five of you. What did I miss? This reminds me of that moment in the 50th anniversary episode of Doctor Who. All three doctors, my worst nightmare realized. And Dan and Carl Wiseman will be over there eventually. Dan and Clyde, I'm glad Mommy let you go to the LCS by yourself this week. Burn.
Oh
Boy,
man,
on. It is on. It's getting ugly now. Good one, Ted. But anyway, here he is, the master of the review, Mr. Clyde Hall. Clyde, what do you have for us this week that Ted should have someone read to him?
Well, speaking of cool stuff for Ted.
Oh yeah,
this is
back.
Kirby art when he got the merchandising contract for doing art for some of the Big Jim pack back in the 70s. And I have seen the artwork. I've never had the comic. This is a comic book that came with some of the sets, but and it has different artists. I think this might be Buscema. I'm not sure. What do you guys think on the back part? But the front part is definitely the King.
I think it's Buscemi.
Okay.
Steve.
Oh, he's Steve Buscemi. No, no, you guys.
Boo.
But since mommy let me go to the comic book shop this week, I managed to get, just like Brian was talking about, we have Yang's writing on both of these. Excellent. This has been one of my favorite books for this last several months. One of the top picks for comic reads of the month. Monkey Prince, absolutely delightful. He's kind of on a hot streak. As opposed to, we have the new issue of One Star Squadron that came out with Mark Russell as the writer.
Hope Red Tornado.
And Red Tornado. And but Mark Russell also finished up the Fantastic Four life story where things happen in actual time. And I gotta say, that was kind of his run on that has been up and down, and it kind of ended on a lukewarm sort of note. So hopefully he will stick with more of the One Star Squadron. And it was interesting that he tried something different than they'd done with life stories before, but it didn't really, for me, it didn't work out very well as far as a Fantastic Four book. And it could have been really cool. And Mark Russell doesn't make very many errors like that, so I was kind of surprised. But that's just my take on it. If you've been reading Fantastic Four life story and you like it, cool. But what I'm going to review this week is a Grimoire Noir, which is, if you've ever seen the old TV movie Cast a Deadly Spell, it is Philip Marlowe kind of crime drama and noir mixed in with magic. And Lunar Room #1 came out, and I was very impressed. For a first issue, it was really, really good of this kind of genre. The second one came out before I got a chance to review it, so I'll have a few things, but basically you have two very different kinds of characters being introduced in the two different protagonists who end up being unlikely partners in the first issue. And in the second issue, they flesh out the world more. This first issue for a #1 and an introduction, it was a grabber. I'll show you the reason. A lot of it is a grabber because the artwork is very, very good, even though it's unusual for this kind of a title. But I really like the aesthetic here. This girl she's been cursed. She's a lycanthrope. She's a shapeshifter, but she can't change. And a mage lifts part of the curse so that she gets one arm back, and goes to town making people rue the day that they have criticized her. So that was a really good splash from issue #1. But Lunar Room #2 is Vault Comics. It's a $3.99 cover price, written by Danny Lore. The art is by Gio Esposito, colors by DJ Chavez, letters by Andworld, and the maturity level is rated mature. While I write for various comic sites, this is my own independent feature, and it should not be considered representing any views of those sites. So the first issue of this new title was good foundational stuff, and we find out it's set in a place called Solar City. That is a place where refrigerators, laundromats, and corner diners exist, just like they do here. But so do mages and werewolves and corner enchanted charms convenience stores. And the magic is not hidden. Instead, magic is a power just as much as cable TV service and Con Ed is for us. And it exists right beside them. And so our two characters that were introduced in the first issue is Cynthia Sinbreaker. She's a former werewolf and a mob enforcer for a powerful mage, but now forcibly retired, and she's described as a bound alpha, which means she's magicked so she can't shift forms. Zach Zero is a mage with a twin brother in high standing with the Knowers. If trying to come up with an idea for the Knowers, it's sort of like they would be a magic guild, but a secretive one. very powerful, but on the down low. They're not interested in having a former knower casting light spells on those mysteries or the artifacts that they possess, but Zach is formerly one of them, and their agenda seems just that, a perilous position requiring that they seek protection, preferably tough bodyguards who will work cheap because being a whistleblower does not pay very well. So those are the two characters that we meet in the first story. In the second story, we learn more about the world where they operate and why they are the way they are, because they're both outsiders. We get it through, well, we get the view of it through this character who's called Nobody, which is very appropriate because he is making his bones as a mob enforcer on the streets of Solar City. And that means that he's put in his place a lot of, you don't count yet. You're not officially part of the mob. We have a nice scene between Sin and Zach where they talk about the history of the knowers and an artifact that Zach is very, very anxious to get his hands on. And that's one of the reasons he needs Sin's help. And we have some very nice splashes of magic and why Solar City is so very dangerous. And then we have a nice battle scene with Sin and some enforcers at the end here. I really like the layout on this. It's interesting.
Ooh, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yep. And this
Very
This-
angular.
Yeah. And this issue is very expositional because of the background and the world building. But when you get to the battle scene here, it's like, wow, that really pulled out. It's sort of like, okay, we've enough talk. Here we go. So to get into the meat of what this book's all about, as far as the second issue at least, this uneasy alliance becomes convenient for both characters. And they do a good job of fleshing that out from the first issue. And, Sin is like, Zach's powers are dicey, and Sin doesn't work with mages. She doesn't trust mages. You got to think that when you don't have the ability to take your wolfen form anymore that you really, really love because of a curse, it raises certain trust issues with necromancers. So in number 2, writer Danny Lohr's world building comes through the experience of that young street enforcer called Nobody. He works for Sin's former employee, the mob mage Angie, and it's driven home that Nobody's just that. He may rough up business owners that owe Angie protection payoffs, or he may run errands or deliver messages, but he's new and he's still making his bones as far as the mob is concerned. Lohr also examines how things work in Solar City through the observations of Sin and Zach. Zach's enough information in their possession that an upcoming celestial event offers them the opportunity to filch the lion's share of magic ability away from the head knower. In the meantime, Zach needs protection since their first attempt at fielding that power was interrupted, and it's safe to say that they're now probably on Mystic radar. The reader gets a lesson in getting by in Solar City with issue number 2, and it's one that reads, at least in part, be smart, be quiet when dealing with someone likely more powerful than you, or if you don't know whether they are or not. Understand that might makes right here, and don't overplay how much of a hand you have in the game. And also understand that making a mistake will probably get you cursed or killed or worse. So the art of Gio Esposito is clean and bold with a sense of order. Even in those scenes of chaos, the world looks a bit cleaner than I expected from a street level crime and conjuring setting. The characters, for the most part, could be walking a runway. They're attired in youthful, high-energy fashions. They all look good. And I have a theory. I think that magic, the way Esposito has rendered it here, may work for them the way that we use filtering on social media here. If you had the magical ability to change your appearance and look good at all times, you probably would do that. So I think that might be an app, maybe a mystic app because they really do look good. But what works very well with it, though, is when you get to those battle scenes and violent scenes, they have a lot more impact because everything else has been so clean and orderly up to then. The colorist, DJ Chavez, he adopts a grounded style for the art here, balancing shadows with a wide range of slightly suppressed colors. And I think colors that were too vivid wouldn't work very well, but he capitalizes on knowing that, and he shades. If you looked at the faces, the shading ability he has, especially in the splashes where he has bigger areas to work with, it's a real visual strength for this book. Letters by Ann World divvies up the conversations and the dialogue with the equilibrium that we've come to expect. Ann World does a lot of work, and it's always good. They also have sound effects, and they use them sparingly, but they match. They're like crafted to this art style. And not everything would fit, but Ann World makes things that do. The premiere issue presented two outsiders from their perspective packs and displayed differences between their dynamics. Zach has separated themselves from a secret sect of magicians, promoting a false narrative, he claims, and looking for a power grab intent unknown. He doesn't want to be one of them anymore, but we're unsure what their actual goal is. Once they have the power, if they achieve it, what do they plan to do with it? That would be different than what the knowers would do. Sin is separated from the animalistic tribe and the battle lines as a lycanthrope, and she's somebody that reveled in the power plays and the alpha posturing that's all now held by others, and she is on the receiving end of it. I think she would go back to that might makes right system, given the opportunity, though. So that is kind of a weird pair of protagonists. But number 2 sheds more light on what has shaped them to the point where they are now. And we understand both a little bit better, but we are still left pondering, if they are successful, will they transform themselves into streetwise heroes because they have seen the other side? Or will they be the sorts who will they become like new versions of the same people that they're fighting now? And that's the kind of comic that keeps you tuning in each month, because you want to know how will their personalities and their circumstances, where will they fall in between those two extremes? So my score for Lunar Moon number 2 is 8 out of 10.
Very cool.
Nice.
I like it. That sounds good.
Yeah, it's that first issue really floored me. I really liked it. Although, looking at what some other people have said, they like the second issue better. I think it shows good world building to make it entertaining. It's a little slower pace. The first one had a lot of action in it. This one has that one big scene, but
very cool. Well, let's see. Ted Davies was commenting on your find there, the Superman power thing. And another good review. Clyde says, Carl Witzman, well, I better go over to Soup at the Clock. Have a great evening, you two. Right. Thank you very much for being here, my friend. Enjoy yourself over there. I'll check in eventually. So we have gotten the reviews done. Did anyone have anything that they saw in the news this week that they want to talk about? I'm taking the answer is no.
I did see the new episode of Peacemaker, and it's the best one yet. If you love James Gunn stuff at all, yeah, you should watch it. It's,
I haven't started yet. I plan on it. That and Book of Boba Fett are both. I think I'm just gonna binge both of them. Because I know what happened in the last episode of Book of Boba Fett, and that just got me super excited.
Oh, so good, so
yes.
good.
So, if you like Clone Wars, hey,
that's what I heard.
But I
if you like Justified,
the truth.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
I gotta say, with the Peacemaker, I think it's pretty cool that they're really like intentionally like taking on like white supremacists. I think that is what is his dad's name? Like, is it
the White Dragon?
White Dragon? Yeah, I was like, good grief.
And based on an actual character that is
it an
like
actual
that in the comics.
Yeah, I think it probably was. Yeah.
Somebody described that show this week in a way that I thought was perfect. It is irreverently profound.
Yeah.
And with episode 6, you get full marks for both of those.
All right.
It goes from being funny as heck to just turning right around and stab you right in the heart.
Hmm.
And not everybody can do that, but James Gunn, when he's on all cylinders, he can. So
Yeah.
That's
I have been when I saw the Suicide Squad movie, the one that came out last year, I was very impressed with John Cena.
Mhm.
He did such a good job, and
Mhm.
I'm gonna follow his career because I like Dwayne Johnson. I think he can be a really good actor. He also chooses everything, so I think he does some really not so great stuff too. But I think we're looking at another Dwayne Johnson as far as just a wrestler turned actor who can actually perform well.
Now, his supporting cast in this is excellent, and that always helps. There are some characters in this I didn't think I would care for at all, and their actors have just brought them to life.
Well, who was the was it Vigilante?
Vigilante, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a couple clips with him in it, and I love him. He's hilarious.
The buffoon.
Well, I tell you, you guys were talking. I can't remember if it was the after show or not, but you were talking about the opening of the Peacemaker. Wow, I finally got to see that on YouTube, and I will say one thing: those guys can, except for Cena. Cena is either the worst dancer in the world or the absolute best.
He's probably just really good at being bad.
Yeah.
He said that he was not a dance, that he could not dance. So when they
proved it.
Yeah, and then when they were complimenting them on the dance number, though, he said that they brought in some really good people, and the lady that was doing the main choreography, she was having trouble, so she got her husband to come in and help.
Yes, yes.
Did you see that?
I know who that is. Yes,
Alan Tudyk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And I can't remember her name. The blonde lady. Yeah, she's a terrific dancer. When she makes that appearance, she's riveting. Yeah. But I've become a Wigwam fan. I tuned in. I then did a larger search. The video for that song, of course, is a lot longer, and it's a terrific song. They're a terrific band. And the thing is, in doing research, I've also seen some interviews with the lead singer of the group, and you talk about a riches to rags to immense riches story.
Ooh.
They formed, I think, like in the late 1990s, and they were around for several years. They're a Norwegian band. Now, not to be confused with the British band named Wigwam from the late 60s to the mid 70s. But this Wigwam, they went into like the early part of the aughts, and then of course the usual personality conflicts, and they broke up. Well, then after about 5 years, they started coming back together again and reminding themselves what great friends they were. And so then they said, well, let's just keep going and make music. But they never got, and I was intrigued by one of their album names. It was called 667, The Neighbor of the Devil. And they kept making music, but their career was they just never hit the level that they had before. And the thing is, they were playing, and they called their management team and said, well, could you book us some gigs? We're or do we have to do it ourselves? And they're like, we'll get back to you on that. And the lead singer got on the management company's website. They weren't on it.
Oh.
They had actually let them go like 3, 4, 5 days before that call.
Oh, bummer.
Oh, wow.
But what also happened about the time, a couple days out from calling the management, the lead singer and everybody got this call from a licensing agent saying, we'd like to book a couple of your numbers like that. Do you want to taste it, and one other? Can we get that from you? And they're like, oh yeah, sure. They made the deal and everything. And then they had the deal. Then they called their management and they said, yeah, we let you go about 3 days before you called. I just didn't know how to tell you.
I bet they hate it now.
No, they are probably. I bet there is an entire change of upper management right now because these guys, of course, it gets on the Peacemaker. They're excited because they found out it's like, oh my God, it's an American streaming show, and not only that, it's by the guy who makes the Marvel movies too in DC, and now they are just like zooming to the top of the charts. All kinds of doors are opening to them, and seeing the interview with the guy, the singer, you have never seen anyone so grateful.
Oh, I bet.
Delightfully grateful. Like, he knows that he has, he scored twice.
Yeah.
In a way that a lot of musicians never even get the first time. And he's like, all the guys in the band are just like seizing the golden ring right now. So definitely check out their videos. They have their own channel on YouTube. And I think that's somebody you feel good about supporting.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, it is a great story. It really is. So that's let's see. We've got a couple more comments here. Let's see. Ted Davies said that Boba Fett rocked this week. OMG, and have a great night, Fab Five. I've got to go put salve on these burns. Thanks, Clyde.
I'm sorry, Ted.
No,
sorry.
do not apologize. That was hilarious.
Yes. Show no weakness, Clyde.
Yes.
Well,
besides, he's from Michigan. He doesn't care.
He could use the heat right about now. You think our weather sucks? You ought to be up where he is. But no, it's like the saying, Ted, you play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. But anyway.
Whoa.
Man.
It's like now he probably knows how Chad Nuss feels. Anyway, Rick Bradley said you should check out The Legend of Vox Machina on Amazon Prime based on the D&D game by Critical Role, where a bunch of nerdy-ass voice actors play Dungeons and Dragons. It is hilarious. Oh, my God. Well, it's funny to find out how many people in Hollywood do play, like Will Wheaton and Vin Diesel play together.
Oh, yeah.
OMG. Oh, I want to sit in on that table so bad.
The lady that plays, what's her, in Daredevil? Karen
Page.
Karen Page, the lady that plays her, she runs an entire D&D show.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I remember there was a girl, I'm blanking on her name, but she was on Eureka, redheaded lady that did her own series of like D&D based videos before that. But
that's cool.
Yeah, she has an ongoing thing, and David Tennant is a voice in the series as well. I would watch David Tennant read a phone book.
Yep.
I really would. But what was it? The latest rumor going around, this is a little aside here, as most people who follow the show should know, this will be the last year with Jodie Whittaker. And showrunner Chris Chibnall's going too, and they're being replaced by Russell T Davies, who brought the show back in 2005. And in fact, he is now like so in control. He's like in total creative control of the show now. The rumor going around now is that he is, well, of course, he's going to recast the Doctor. He's done it twice. The rumor going around is that he is going to cast it with David Tennant.
He's going back?
That's the rumor.
Ooh.
It is a rumor, but I remember before the Whittaker was signed up, Matt Smith was very public about saying Doctor Who was the best acting gig I've ever had.
Yeah.
And he said, I wouldn't mind coming back,
Now, Brian, has that ever happened before?
Just
other than like special
just for individual episodes, but because like was it who's come back? The first 5, then Troughton came back in one. A number of the Doctors have come back, but
not as a series regular though.
Not as a series regular. No.
Oh wow.
Yes, and I see
John
was a fan
favorite, right?
Sorry,
he was a fan favorite, right?
He really was.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah,
because one, he's a terrific actor. He got some incredible scripts, and he, I think in this new series, I think the closest equivalent to him, as far as the fans go, is probably Tom Baker.
Yeah,
he is so iconic in the role,
and the Rose relationship.
Oh,
yes.
God.
What a heart wrencher! Yeah. That was great stuff.
You know, my favorite Doctor Who though is still Eccleston.
I really liked
Destro.
Yes,
Yeah.
Destro himself. No, Claude from Heroes.
Yeah.
to come back in, with his whole fresh take on the show. They could have dropped the ball, but from the time that he goes, "Nice to meet you, Rose. Run for your life."
Yes.
I'm hooked. I'm
Oh,
hooked
yeah.
to his doctor.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
good performance.
Yeah, he did a super job, and I've heard little snippets of the stuff he's doing for Big Finish right now.
Oh yes, I love that he's coming back for that.
Oh yeah, and he's been, he's not one to suffer fools gladly, and it sounds like his relationship with the BBC and Russell T Davies is as damaged as it can get.
Yeah,
but he has nothing but love for Big Finish
Well,
because they're letting him play the Doctor his way.
Right.
And he's been saying that the scripts have been just so awesome that he's on for the long haul, which is good, which makes me happy to hear. So
Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad because, like I said, he was my favorite. He was the first Doctor
Right.
that I ever saw,
Yeah.
and I loved the more somber version of the Doctor. And he even came out and said, they really wanted him to be more whimsical and silly, which is what David Tennant kind of went into, and then especially with Matt Smith.
Sure.
And he's like, I can't do that. He's like, that's not my thing. And I preferred his version a lot more. I love David Tennant and Matt Smith. But and what was his name? The guy that came on after
Peter Capaldi.
Yes, I liked him too.
Well, he was a fantastic actor, but he wanted to play a darker Doctor.
He did.
Yeah, and he was a little unhappy that they wouldn't let him. And I've been hearing things. We are coming up on the 60th anniversary. I think it is, and he's already said that he is highly disinterested in coming back.
Oh wow!
Oh
yeah. So I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
And John Boboff, welcome to the show.
Nope.
Thank you, and thank you, Russian Masters, for us. And Rick Bradley says, Felicia Day. Thank you, Rick. She actually got a Critical Role started up. I can't recommend it enough. You can find all the videos on YouTube of their campaigns. Also, they do have comics on the series too. That's right, Felicia Day. I could not remember her name, but she was awesome.
Yeah, she was on Supernatural too.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, she's fantastic. She was great in on Eureka. She was so good there. So I'm thinking, unless anybody has anything else to bring up.
Oh, I did watch Midnight Mass that Brian Rodman had suggested, had recommended, and really good horror. Kind of a one and done. I mean, they may have other seasons, but they wouldn't have to.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't really do sequel series. He'll do like The Haunting of Hill House and The Haunting of Bly Manor, where kind of like cousins,
right?
But it was a whole different story with a whole different house.
Okay.
But if you liked Midnight Mass, go check those two out.
Right.
So,
but
cool.
It's it has a lot to do with spirituality and religions and life and death mixed into a lot of different characters representing different points of view, and it speaks to a lot of things that it's very much about the modern world and a lot of modern ideologies wrapped up in a really cool horror story. I had a couple of qualms with it here and there, but they don't say the name of the creatures, sort of like how The Walking Dead never said the Z word.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they do a thing like that, which is kind of
yeah.
It's like they jumped through such verbal hoops at times not to say it that I'm like, just say it, please.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the overall warning of the show is blind faith can do massive amounts of damage.
Yeah.
And not just from one perspective.
Right.
There's you talk, there's two main warring worldviews happening in the show, and it's religion versus science. And they show the dangers of blind faith in both.
And also that you can be a proponent of either one with the best of intentions
Mm-hmm.
and still end up being the bad guy
Yeah.
or, being on the wrong side of things. Just, very well written. That's
Very well
excellent.
written.
Cool. Cool. I have to look that up. And Rick Bradley adds that Will Wheaton has a dice curse. I watched him play a couple times and he rolled more ones than anyone I've ever met. Every game gets that one guy who can't roll to save his life or anyone else in the parties. And
Saving throw 1, you're dead.
yeah. Yeah. And so are like half a dozen people next to you. Yeah. It's like, and sometimes it's you. You can't do anything, and it's like you don't. Everybody's like scooting away from you. Don't touch me, and don't you dare touch my dice.
So that's the new term. Is if you roll a 1 constantly, you're Wesleying it. Is that
I guess
the-
so. Yeah. There you go. So anyway, I think that should wrap up the show on that Wesley note. And no, we're not talking about the Princess Bride again. So I'm thinking let's go around the room and tell everybody how to stay in touch with you. And then we'll close out the show. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Otherwise, we'd be here all the time. Anyway, let's start with Pro Slayer Hawkins down there. Busy at work, I can tell. And tell everybody how to keep up with you. And are you on the Drawn and Quartered tonight?
I am, and we are doing tonight. We're doing Solarian Sun, which is a Kickstarter campaign right now for one of the other artists. So we're going to do his characters for him. Try to give him a little bit of publicity. I mean, not many people watch the show, but we get about 100 views a week. But live there might be 20 people watching, so it's not too bad. But it might give him some more backers. I mean, that's all we're looking for. So we try to do that with up and coming indie artists occasionally. When
nice.
I launch Oz, we will have an Oz night, so it should be cool. Which should be. I'm hoping next month. If I don't launch in March. Which was the plan, but I've always launched in April. The other 3 issues. So if I launch in April, just don't be surprised. But other than that, I mean, you can find me on Twitter, you can find me on Facebook, you can find me on Instagram, you can find me just about everywhere there's social media. That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
Have fun.
You heard the man. Have fun, damn it. Anyway, thank you, Eric. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
All right. And Joe D. McFee, how can people keep up with you, sir?
They could start by catching up with me this upcoming Saturday here on YouTube from the Best of Small Press Publisher. I'm still debating if I'm going to do what I stated I was going to do with the tutorial session. If you guys want to still do that for the studio, because I know that there's people trying to learn it, and it'd be easier for me just to do it as a live session during one of those periods. If not, I just do the reviews as I originally planned. Outside of that, you could always catch me on Facebook, DeviantArt, and actually my link tree is out, so it'll just be easier just to hit my link tree, and then everything pops up there. You can hit me up in one of those links, and that is linktr.ee/SILV as in Victor BOLT.
Excellent.
Hey, Joe, are you on ArtStation yet at all?
No.
Check them out. There's quite a few users out there. It's a big community just for artists.
Okay, I might have to do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a look at that too. That sounds interesting. Anyway, thank you very much for being here, Joe. I appreciate you.
Not a problem.
All right. And then let's go now to Mr. Brian Rodman. Finger guns. There goes our monetization.
How are you? My name is Brian Rodman. Other than stalking me from the bushes, you can find me at brianrodman.com. There you can go and stalk all of my social media as well as Patreon, where you will find Princess Warriors. At brianrodman.com, you'll also find Memoirs of an Angel. You'll find the Nebulizer #1. And right now, as we speak, I'm finishing up Memoirs of an Angel issue 8. And then I will be diving headfirst into the Nebulizer 2. promo coming this weekend. So keep an eye on Facebook and Instagram for that. Other than that, you can find me at Dastardly Dingo's podcast here on the Rising Tide Network, as well as every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be here with these rascals as well. Thanks for having me on, Brian. It's been a lot of fun.
It has been fun. Glad you could make it through the whole episode. I'm grateful for that.
No, I didn't die. It was great.
Yeah, and I lost $5. But anyway, thank you for being here. And now we have Clyde Hall. How can the world keep up with you, sir?
Well, besides Thursday nights with you scamps around the campfire here, you can find me at Stormgate Press. Publications such as Pulp Reality, number 1, number 2, number 3 contains my work. I got more work coming out through Stormgate this year, but you can go to Amazon for any of the Pulp Reality series or www.stormgatepress.com and look at all the selection of new pulp and adventure publications that we have. Also, I am on Facebook at Clyde Hall or Radiating Positive Vibes with author Clyde Hall. And I'm on also on Twitter at CJ Hall 1984. And you can find me at www.comicsbookcase.com. All one word. And Comics Bookcase, I've begun doing reviews for them. And we just put out every Wednesday, New Comic Book Day, boom. We have a whole selection of reviews, interviews, and articles. And a bunch of them just came out yesterday. So you can find some of my reviews there. And also on Facebook and on Twitter, I normally post the written review of what I do on Thursday nights as well. So that's how you can keep up with me. And just don't listen to, follow me. Don't listen to them. They say all sorts of stuff about me. They cannot be trusted. Come straight to the source.
That's right. When we say that Clyde is one of the nicest guys around, don't believe us.
That's right.
Ask Ted Davies. Ask poor Ted Davies.
He's a savage, folks. A pure savage.
I'm just curious. Who are they? And you better not say they are them.
And we have met the enemy, and he is us.
If you don't know who they are, you're one of them.
There it is.
Well, thank you, Clyde. Thank you so much as always.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for allowing yourself to be had. Now I've got to check with my friends in the lizard community in Hollywood to find out what he's talking about. Anyway, I'm Brian K. Morris, author, independent publisher. I do stuff of my own. I write for a whole bunch of others. I'm writing for somebody else right now. But we're going to have a whole bunch of publications out this year, and you'll find out what they are if you follow risingtide.pub, where you can see recent episodes of all of our shows. And you can sign up for my free monthly newsletter where you get some more information. Also, you can sign up for my Patreon page, which... sorry?
The Terrors. It's
the
so
Terrors.
awesome.
That's right. Only 2 more episodes. And I think I'm going to poll everybody about what they want to see next as far as the upcoming stuff. But anyway, Patreon really helps us... in a lot of ways. It's a very interactive community I've got there. I'm really happy to say. And you get perks for supporting me with a modest monthly stipend. So please go to www.patreon.com/Brian K. Morris and find out what they are. And we're a proud part of the Rising Tide Broadcast Network, where we give you entertainment and enlightenment 7 days a week. Right now, pop on over to Stupid O'Clock with Joe Dog McKeel, who's back. He's feeling better now. And then following that at 11 p.m. Eastern is Dan Hollifield's Last Man Standing. All kinds of great geeky conversation, always a good time. And check it out. Plus, tomorrow's a full line of great shows, starting with myself on Nevermind the Furthermore to start your morning. Then Drinking with the Davies with some drink that's got an obscene name. You'll love the show. And Historical Fencing Guild at 8 p.m. All kinds of great stuff. A lot of variety on the Rising Tide Broadcast Network, and please be sure to go to our Facebook page and give it a like and follow it if you would. And speaking of following, be sure you follow Plasma Fire Graphics if you want the best in illustration for your comic book or paperback book covers. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you. When you've got a book to sell, Plasma Fire Graphics can fit all your needs at indie comics and book producers. Favorable prices. You will enjoy working with Jeffrey Hayes. So check him out at not only on his Facebook page, but also on the plasmafiregraphics.com page where you can ask for his rate card. As Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you, because it definitely matters to your readers. Thank you all for being here tonight on Comic Book Spectrum. If you've enjoyed any part of the show, please give us a like. If you're on Facebook, if you are on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up, and please ring that bell, molest it radically, make it cry, so you can be notified of all the great shows that we've got coming up on the Rising Tide channel. And as always, folks, thank you for watching us. We'll see you tomorrow on Never Mind the Furthermore. And for now, folks, remember, stay smart, stay safe, wash your hands, be careful shoveling snow. My arms still hurt. And never apologize for being awesome. Thanks for watching us. Tune in again next week to Comic Book Spectrum. Take care, everyone.
Thank you for watching Comic Book Spectrum, a Rising Tide Broadcast Network production. Please join us next week for another look at comics, past, present, and future. If you enjoyed this, please give the show a like and be sure to subscribe and share it with your friends. To receive our free monthly newsletter, go to www.risingtide.pub and be sure to give the Rising Tide Broadcast Network page on Facebook a like in order to receive news about upcoming shows including Clever Title Pending, Stupid O'Clock, Clever as Hail, Comics Chaos and Sass, Tidbits and Scribbles, the Historical Fencing Guild, and Never Mind the Furthermore. See you next week.